Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This store is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Get signed up for their email distribution list to find out when the store will be opening, what their hours will be, and most importantly, what they will have in inventory at abvbarrelshop.com. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebartogo.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we give some advice to big bourbon. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Demetri and Kathy, and Jim Fosnot.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, guys.
How we doing?
How you doing?
Good. Very good, very good. So, yeah, we're going to have a fun show today. We're going to give some advice to big bourbon. Whether or not they listen, I don't know. We'll see. But, I think we'll come up with some good ideas for them. And this is just stuff they can have. We're just giving it away. We're not the consultants. And now if they want to throw us a couple bucks, we're not going to turn that down. But we're throwing it out there, and we're hoping for good karma comes back to us. But we'll get to that after the break. For right now, Kathy, you said there's something you want to talk about. What is that?
Yeah. Was recently at a really beautiful event space, had a very ornate chandelier, and I thought to myself, dear God, who has to dust it?
Right.
So when you're making choices about how you're going to outfit the shop or how you're going to decorate your house, one of the things I think about, and I know other people think about, is what is it going to take to make that look clean all the time? Do you guys think about that as you're developing the shop? Like, oh, we're going to put these really cool fixtures in there.
Well, no, our shop is supposed to look like a rick house, and so it can look.
Dust is allowed.
Yeah. So 100%. Like we want it to look kind of commercial and rough, so it's fine, right, Steve?
So the stave
Exactly.
wall,
Yeah.
the stave wall after a couple of years or a year or so is going to have all these little gray fuzzies.
Spider webs, like blankets on it. That'd be nice.
Now let's
Add
create
to the
a barrel
motif.
for dusting at some point. Like,
Yeah.
you'll come in, Kathy, be like, I really want that bottle. I'm like, if you dust the stave wall, you can have it.
Yeah. That was our plan to give Kathy dust the stave wall. So, hopefully that comes
If you
true.
give me a bottle every time I dust it, I'll be in there every week.
Yeah, we're getting a feeling you're going to be in there every week anyway. So, yeah, we'll plan on seeing a lot of KK there. So, that'll be a good thing.
Here's literally, Kathy, how I take care of it. I'll bring my leaf blower in, and I will just I'll leaf blow all that crap off, and then I'll sweep and vacuum and mop. I have no problem with that, but
He
The
leaf
leaf
blows
blower.
inside the house.
I love it.
it's electric.
Yeah.
Electric
Yeah.
leaf blower. Good.
Yeah. I don't know. McNew, do you think about anything of how it needs the maintenance of it ongoing, or do you just buy stuff?
Because I am very impulsive. When I want something, and I'm getting it hell or high water. And I usually regret it about, a month or so later when it comes time to deal with it. So that happens a lot in this house. But you know what? It's my problem. I do it to myself. It's fine. I'm the only person that cleans here. Did it to myself. It's fine.
But now that you know the leaf blower method,
I could try that. Actually, that would be great for all the husky hair. Like, I literally have to clean my house every other day because of these damn dogs. So I'm going to get a leaf blower now. Just blow it out the door.
My boss at my old job would bitch about like dust in the bins of the wine and stuff, and that's why I just brought my electric leaf blower in and just blew all that shit out, and then I just swept the floors and mopped them. They're fantastic. Like, works great.
Problem solved.
Yep.
Yeah. Demetri, you ever think about things like you're gonna have to dust this or anything like that?
I have 4 children.
Uh-huh.
Everything is a mess.
He's like, we live in filth until they're gone. That's how people with kids are.
Show up and have expectations. Like typically when somebody's like, hey, I'd love to come over and have dinner. And I'll be like, okay, well, just be prepared. You'll probably get coughed on, sneezed on. Something will be thrown on the floor. It'll be dumped on there multiple times. My house will not be clean.
Mm-hmm.
And it just is like a standardized set, and if you can hang, you can hang.
Right.
When they hit 18, but we live in a small house though. So we have a really old farmhouse. So it's only 850 square feet.
Yeah.
So having
4 kids.
with 4 kids, they're in 2 bedrooms and they have bunk beds. So even if the house is a wreck, you can clean it in about 15 minutes. You can vacuum our entire house from one plug.
Yeah. Wow. That's
And
pretty
so
good.
it's kind of like a pride thing my wife and I have is like we can clean all the hardwood and vacuum all the bedrooms from one plug.
God.
Nice.
So
I'm a little envious because I insisted that we put down like vinyl floors and rip all of our carpet out. It takes me a good 45 minutes to like Bissell and clean these floors multiple times a week. Like I spend so much damn time cleaning this house.
yeah. So we've got old hardwood floors from the farmhouse. And so we use one of those like quick mops with the like thing you can throw away.
Mhm.
And we just run through the house real quick.
Yeah, the
with that.
Swiffer. Those are great.
Yeah, the Swiffer. I'm like, that is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
I also dust with it, which my wife has told me multiple times you don't dust the fans with it. But I'm like, yeah, it's the same
It
thing.
works. It works. I use the Swiffer wet pads. Those work for so many things.
I
Multiple.
think she was more focused on that it's the same one that I was just doing the floor with, and then I just lifted in the air and just.
Oh.
I think it was more of a process.
The bathroom floor he did, and then he went, straight
Yeah,
from
he's
the.
like bathroom first, ceiling.
Yeah.
It's probably
So,
after
have
I
you
cleaned
ever
the
thought about a
bathroom with the
Roomba
same
for your
thing.
dogs?
Do what?
Have you ever thought about a Roomba vacuum, like the robot vacuums?
Oh, I love my iRobot vacuum.
So
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I want one, but did you see that nightmare? Like it was like a viral post where it ran over somebody's dog's poop. It's
Oh,
So
that
then-
happens.
so
that
the-
would 1,000% happen to me.
Oh,
No. So the new ones have a sensor for that. The new ones won't do that. They have a sensor and they detect
they have
it.
a poop sensor?
They do.
But I'm also afraid. So Sosa, our Mastiff, sheds as much as the Husky does. Like I'm afraid this thing is going to choke up and die in a day. Like it's not even
Yeah.
worth the money. Like
Like the new ones are great because they actually have a docking station where when they're full, they'll dock and it unloads them and they go back out.
it's only going to make one pass and be like, got a dock. It's just going to live on the dock.
Must dock now.
Just staying on the dock because there's too much damn dog hair in this house.
Yeah. All right, gang. Well, Kathy, there you go. There's, we kind of don't care, I guess, and then we just pay for it down the road.
Oh, what I've learned is leaf blower.
Leaf blower. That's the takeaway here. The leaf blower.
That'd be the electric, the battery pack leaf blowers, not the gas in your house. That doesn't work.
No, you don't want the
I
gas in
have
your
one of
house.
those. It's like a really gentle leaf blower. They don't even call it a leaf blower. They call it like a sweeper. I could
Okay.
totally use that in my house.
That's how I clean my garage every freaking day when it's sawdust. Blow it outside, rain takes it down to the street. I don't care.
There you go. And it's someone else's problem. All right. It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? I'm going first. I've got Heaven's Door here. This is their bourbon. This is a collaboration with Redbreast. So they actually aged it or finished it in Irish whiskey barrels from Redbreast Irish whiskey. So here we go. Decent and sloshy is what I'd say there. Could be enough. We'll see. Kathy, you're next.
I've got Old Granddad 114.
Oh, what the heck? I've never had an Old Granddad 114 cork sound like that.
It was cute. It was good.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. All right. Kathy's got the lead clearly there. McNew, what do you got?
Have some Blanton's Gold.
Nah, nothing there. Nothing going on. Jim, how about you?
I'm going to go back to my Monin Bell. This is the 127th Classic. It's some college football game that I don't care about, but the bottle's good.
Bottle's good. Okay. Okay. That was also really good. Also very sloshy. I'm going to throw it to McNew. We're going to throw it to a judge, and then we have to. No matter, this is binding. Whatever she says goes. Even if we hate it, go ahead, McNew. Who won that?
Both good. I think Kathy's took it though.
Yeah, Kathy's took it. Okay. All right. That's what I was
Jim,
leaning
I
towards
think
too.
you got that bottle from a Secret Santa.
Oh, he got that from Secret Santa. Jim did.
Well, that one I did. I got one from Secret Santa.
Oh,
He's had multiple, so there you go.
I finished the Secret Santa bottle.
Okay, there you go. Cheers, gang. Congrats, Kathy.
For you, McNew.
All right. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, it's going to be advice time for the Big Bourbon. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot in the greater St. Louis area. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only focuses on single barrels. We aren't open just yet, but our plan is to have the most diverse single barrel offerings from our many friends in the world of bourbon. By signing up for a weekly email, you will know our entire inventory we have on hand. In addition to single barrels, we'll have a tasting bar and a gift shop featuring logo merchandise for both the shop and the ABV network, as well as a full curriculum of bourbon education classes. Additionally, we'll use the gift shop to feature products from our partners in the world of bourbon, companies like Art Eatable Chocolates and Old Man Bay Signs. Head over to ABV Barrel Shop to sign up for our email and text distribution list so you can stay in the know. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent visits to Kentucky. Today, he's leading the way for young distillers making their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery combines family history, a look at what makes their products unique, and of course, a tasting through their whiskeys, moonshines, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com and visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
All right, I'm Neil.
And I'm Melanie.
Together we're the Robinsons, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we are giving very unsolicited advice to Big Bourbon.
Yes, we are. Yeah, they didn't ask us to do this, but we're doing it anyway. What would be some things you would say to Big Bourbon? How can they be better?
Make more.
Make more. Okay.
This
Okay.
They do have the capabilities to make more. They very much could.
I think
They
they're
are
trying.
making more.
They are trying, but the problem is there keeps being more bourbon fans coming, and then as they ramp it up even more, then yet more bourbon fans come. So
Well, the other part people forget is Asian market opened up only a few years ago. And so you're talking a couple billion people now have access that didn't exist, 10 years ago. So they're making more, but their market is significantly larger.
yeah,
But they cut back the number of releases on like bookers. They didn't
Yeah.
have to do that.
well,
My big thing is I've been in retail for 30 years, and there's a lot of price control that exists out there with different big brands, like whether it's, Dyson vacuums or Calphalon cookware. There's a certain price range you can sell in. You can't go outside that. Do the same damn thing for your bourbon. Like, I don't want to see Blanton's at a retailer at $150. That's asinine. So control it. And if those make them sign a contract for the distributors, whoever they're selling it can only sell it in this price range. And there you go. And they could, because it exists outside of bourbon, so it could exist there. And if the distilleries aren't making a shit ton of money, because they could all double their price, and they don't, then the retailers shouldn't be either.
interesting. Well, here's my advice for Big Bourbon: quit being lazy. You have bigger budgets, you have more dollars to spend on research and stuff like that. Don't just pluck the best of what craft bourbon's doing and then do it on a much bigger scale and release it and be like, hey, this is our creativity. No, come up with your own stuff. I mean, I think that what they do, and they treat craft like it's the minor leagues. And, like a minor league team, our farm clubs, we pick, the best third baseman out of the farm team when we have our third baseman get hurt. I think they feel like that when it comes to innovation, and they're not innovating themselves. They need to innovate themselves and drive the industry, as opposed to just sitting back, letting things get vetted out there in the field and then saying, hey, guess what we got? We've got, a toasted barrel now. They weren't doing any of that stuff till craft started doing it. All those things. There's a ton of those things that they got going on. But yeah, what do you guys think of it? You guys, I saw a lot of heads shaking. Yes, do you guys agree with that? That they need to innovate. Don't just steal. Innovate. No. What else for?
Demetri is a craft distiller. What do you want to tell the big bourbon guys?
Well, I think it would be a lot of like what Steve just said. Innovate your own. Go out and be innovative. Don't wait for me to come out with a really good idea. Like, I think barrel finishes were a really unique way that craft distilleries kind of had a niche.
Right.
So we were able to look at it from a perspective of, okay, so big bourbon locked down bourbon. Well, how do we take bourbon that we're making and do something different that the consumer can be like, oh, this is different. And now that we've got, all of the big guys doing the same thing, I think one time we were all chatting. I think Steve, you and I were chatting about the whole bottle and bond thing, where it's like, little guys bottle and bond. It's a big deal when I have a barrel that's been setting for 4 years at 100 proof, everything meets that criteria, and to be able to do it. And the big guys, it's like, it's a boardroom meeting. They're sitting there going, oh, well, how many thousands of barrels do we? Oh yeah, let's do that. That's a cool marketing thing.
Right.
So I think that, kind of like go out and be like, find your own niches, and don't look to the craft distillers to find it. And I think it could go the same way for like beer as well. I think beer does the exact same thing, though, is that the big guys all look to the small guys and figure out how they're stealing part of their market and then copy them.
A lot of that stuff, our buddy Gary out at Woodhead, Chinkapin Oak. Who do you ever hear of using Chinkapin Oak other than Gary several years ago? Now he can't buy the barrels because the big guys are in that. They want that Chinkapin Oak, the flavors that it imparts. And they it all. Yeah, I mean, and now Gary can't buy the barrels. I mean, because he doesn't have the buying powers the big guys do. So, yeah, they just need to innovate. Be the ones that are setting the trends. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
What else?
So I think one of the best things at Wild Turkey is when you go in that gift shop on a Sunday, Jimmy Russell is probably there, meeting people, shaking hands, signing bottles. And you see that at craft distilleries. Like, you can walk in and see Royce and Becca. You can walk in and see
Demetri.
Adam. Demetri. You can walk in and see you guys. And I think that's really special because people connect a product with a face, with a human. Like, created this, so cool. It's my favorite. Glad I get to meet you. I think if they did more of like, hey, we're going to have Denny Potter out here on Tuesday or whatever, like just more accessibility to people like that. Because meeting Jimmy Russell is really special. I loved that when I got to do that.
Yeah.
Well, especially Buffalo Trace. Like, Harlan Wheatley is never.
No, he doesn't do that stuff. No.
Yeah, but if they made it a thing, I mean, well, at Buffalo Trace, we only want to see Friday anyway, so it's fine.
I mean, Harlan Wheatley, it would be nice if, just once a month. Okay. The first Wednesday of the month, Harlan Wheatley's going to be out there signing bottles and meeting fans from 1 to 3 on the first Wednesday.
Fans, yeah, just one day a month, like Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever. He doesn't even have to be there all day. Like, give him some hours. That would mean a lot to people to get their bottles signed. I think people like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it puts a face to the brand. I think that to me, having a face with the brand is one of the true things that really helped bourbon take off, is when we started thinking of, Booker No and Jim Beam and Elmer T. Lee and Buffalo Trace, it meant something. And that's one of the things. I mean, Canadian whiskey. I mean, Dr. Don Livermore, we know him, but who else do you know from the world of Canadian whiskey? There's nobody out there, that's a public persona. So, and it flounders. So I would like to see, what opportunities to meet. When we go to the distillery, the Beams, to see Fred No, just as consumers, not people making barrel picks or, VIPs. I'm talking about just regular consumers coming in and shopping the Jim Beam gift shop and all the other ones too, not pointing any fingers.
They're like the rock stars.
Yeah, any of the bigger ones. Yeah, Heaven Hill, like Connor O'Driscoll's out, just one day a month or something. I think that means a lot to consumers.
Yeah.
Let's not give them another idea to copy from the small guys.
Never mind, scratch that. We don't want to see you. Don't show up.
I'm like, you
Me
guys
too, saying we really
corporate,
shouldn't be giving any advice to the Big Bourbon.
Yeah.
they're doing just fine. I guarantee it.
They're doing just fine.
And people say they don't care. Like, they don't need to show up. They're doing fine without it. But
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I wrote down in prep was how do they build better brand loyalty? Like, people love the Buffalo Trace brand, but you can't get it except the Buffalo Trace standard product. So how do they build back brand loyalty, like back when I was a kid? And
Yeah, that's gone away, really. I mean,
always had the one bottle, and they always bought the one bottle. And
yeah.
I mean, I love the variety.
But when we think about our grandparents or stories of our great grandparents, they would just drink one thing. I mean, if they were a wild turkey drinker, that's what they drank, wild turkey. Or if they drink Jim Beam, and they come over to your house and they'd be like, I like Jim Beam, and we don't have it, but we do have wild turkey. No, thank you. So that's kind of gone for the most part. But so Kathy, you'd like to see more of that. I don't know. I feel like we bourbon consumers have the best stuff now because we kind of pick and choose. We're fickle. We're jumping
From
around.
their
We bounce around.
perspective, that should be something they should be trying to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Is how do they build back brand loyalty?
Right.
I think
here's brand loyalty right here. So Heaven Hill, this is the 7-year bottle and bond. So the 6-year bottle and bond got discontinued, 4 years ago now, Steve?
Something like that. Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, a third of the cost of this. And so they discontinued the white label Heaven Hill 6-year-old, which was you could get for $20-something a bottle, and they waited a year, and now it comes out and it's $50 a bottle. And just quit. I get you want to make your margins, whatever else. Charge whatever you want for Beat Tech Collection. People pay it. I don't care. If you want to charge $300 a bottle for the George T. Stagg, Steve will still pay that. He's not going to be upset about it. But quit screwing us over on the everyday products and just rebranding them and changing the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just be upfront and say, "Hey, screw it. This is what we're doing. We're gonna quadruple our price and just either buy it or don't. We don't care." But they don't do that. They try to tell us, "Oh, it's repackaged. It's done this." So we're smarter than that.
Well, and I think though that like when you look at it from the perspective of like that brand loyalty side, for the small guys, that actually gives us an opportunity where they're taking the creative side. They've got the budgets to do it. If we start focusing on more, you know what I mean? Like we start focusing more of that customer loyalty of saying, "Hey, we can come in with these really good daily drinkers that have been aged properly, for local markets." That's an opportunity. So
yeah.
Well, what I love about the craft guys is you can use heirloom grains. You can barrel at a lower proof. You can use pot stills. The big guys can't do that and keep their shareholders happy. Like they've got to come, off the still at 150 proof. They got to use yellow dent to get the most, alcohol out of every batch they're doing. And so the small guys can do that. And I think that's great for you guys against the big guys. And I don't think that's the one thing I think the big guys can do. It would be great for me if they all use heirloom grains and stuff. They could drink that, but they can't do it.
Yeah. The last one that I've got, and as I drank, let's not forget, I drank the Heaven's Door bourbon with the Redbreast, the collaboration. I'd love to see more collaborations. If you're a craft beer fan, there's endless collaborations that happen where it's dual branded on the label, and it's kind of a cool thing. It might be two of your favorite craft breweries working together, and it's such a cool thing to be able to buy a beer and see what you're taking from both of those. Of course, we saw one big one this year in the world of bourbon. We saw Leopold Brothers and Dickel partner up, and it was a great collaboration. It was a really nice thing. It was it gives you an opportunity to try some of that 3-chamber at a very affordable price because they mixed it with some Dickel rye. I just like to see more of that co-branded partnering up. And we talk about it being such a friendly business. Hey, make a call and work together a little bit and do some co-branding stuff.
Get a Buffalo Trace and Heaven Hill collaboration.
Could you imagine? I mean, you would think it would never happen, and it probably won't, but it would be cool if it did.
Right.
A bourbon fan wouldn't want to try that. Yeah. So there you go. There's some advice. take it if you want, and if you like it and you want more, we've got more.
Just call us. Write us a check.
Yeah, we're not giving any more free ones. That's it. We saved the really good ones for personal phone calls. So yeah, call us. All right, we'll wrap this thing up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Kathy, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Kathy Cool.
All right, Demetri.
You can find me at Facebook and Instagram as Demetri_Kane, or you can find me at Nobleton's on Facebook and Instagram, or you can swing out to the distillery in Marthasville, Missouri, and sample some of our fantastic spirits.
All right, Jim.
Find me on Facebook at Jim Fosnot, on Instagram at FosJim. You can find me working hard with Steve to get the ABV Barrel Shop open in Arnold, Missouri, or you can find me on Eventbrite hosting Jim's Big Pours on Friday nights.
All right, McNew.
I am on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We also talk about that important website, abvnetwork.com. Check that one out. Everything that we do is out there. We put all of our previous shows out there. We've got blogs you can read. We've got Bourbon Zeppelin. We have quick bourbon notes. I also do a thing called, Legends of Bourbon that comes out every Wednesday. All that stuff you can see, previous issues. You can sign up for if you want to participate and get that as it comes in. So check us out at abvnetwork.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right, great job today, gang. Farnance, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's upcoming Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.